What's up, everybody? My name is KB, and just like you, I love movies. Welcome back. For those of you who've been here before after the summer break, and for those of you that this is your first time, welcome. We like to talk to other movie lovers on here about their love for movies. That's why it's called KB Loves Movies. But we're going to have an episode of the conversation tonight. Before we do, just want to do a little cross promotion here. So after we're done here, at the top of the next hour, head over to my man brother Del. He is having one of his movie swaps with another good friend of mine, Nerdy Film Girl. It looks like they're doing Across the Universe and Lady Sings the Blues. So two great movies. It'd be nice to see what they have to say about them. But for our purposes here, tonight's guest is a business lady first. For our benefit, she's also a movie lover. When she's not looking for her son's action figures, she can be found selling Blu-rays and 4Ks at a very rapid pace on WhatNot. I am talking to Miss Kayla Carter from Countless, aka KK, aka Mrs. Carter. How many other names you got?
I still go by my maiden name a lot, actually, believe it or not. But normally Kay is what a lot of people, even on stream, have gotten to know me. Hey, Kay. So.
Well, in my family, it's kind of hard because my name starts with K, my wife's name starts with K, and my Kayla also starts with K.
Does she spell it same as me? Kayla?
No funky spellings. I think I was in one of your streams when somebody was talking about all the different spellings that they've come across, and I'm like, that don't sound right.
I see a lot of with like the C's, or I see a lot of Michaelas. It's very I wouldn't say rare, but it's not common to find just a straight Kayla. In fact, I found it on a Coke bottle 3 weeks ago. It was the first time I've ever seen it. So
yeah, I don't have that luck. I can't find my name on a Coke bottle, not even my initials. So it's all good. I got used to it.
No love.
No. But there's always time to watch movies. I am still moving in to my new house. I'm looking around. I'm in my basement now, and like I figured out where I'm gonna post my posters and my Brooklyn Bridge mural. I always have a piece of home with me, and my daughter helped me hang my LG OLED in front of me, and I wanna sit down and watch some movies so bad, but there's so much to do. Are
you gonna do like a full like a full basement like movie room kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And then around the corner, I have space to put all my movies that I keep buying from you, and my office desk, and my DJ equipment. So that will be probably what you see when I do future live streams and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Well, that's good. You got to get to it then.
Yeah, it's more stuff to do around the house. So this is kind of like on the end of that list.
It's got to be at the top. It's got to be at the top. You got to have somewhere you got to like hang out.
I think different than other people in the house. I'll say.
I know who thinks that way. I'll say that.
And her name starts with a K.
I would probably, if I was in her shoes, I would probably think the same thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just little things that need to be done, but a whole bunch of little things add up over time.
Of course, yeah. Especially when moving and stuff. Moving is daunting itself, so.
Yeah, I'm not doing it again anytime soon. I'm just saying that.
I don't blame you. We've moved quite a bit. But the last time we moved was like 5 years ago, and I was like, I'm done. And we had movers and all that stuff, but it's still like, I mean, it takes, I feel like, months to get settled in and like feel like it's like your home, and it's exhausting.
Yeah. And we had moved too, but I think like they put my toiletries in the unfinished side of the basement below like 11 other boxes. So I got to find it or get a new razor or something. I don't know.
That's hilarious. I'm not surprised.
We are not alone. We have some people joining us in the chat. Shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to the people lurking or watching on the rewatch. So we have Heck Nava saying, you are the GOAT of WhatNot. I'll agree with that. We got Steve Moody saying hello to everybody and all the
Hi,
folks in the
Moody.
chat. We got Luke Ponto. Luke is going to be a future guest on the conversation coming up soon in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that as well. Chi-Town #1, what is up? I like that name. The goat of WhatNot. Yes, she is. Everyone make sure to hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Love it.
I want to get back to that, this one here about the goat of WhatNot. But before we do, I always like to break it in with a little non-movie question. So, when did the love of Michael Jackson start, and what is your favorite song?
It started when I was young. My mom actually listened to Michael Jackson, and I think Man in the Mirror was probably my favorite. It still remains my favorite. I don't know that I have I think all of them are, but it started when I was young with my mom. And then it just kind of, when I met Jarrett, we just kind of became our thing. And then it used to be whenever Justice was really tiny, we would wake him up with Michael Jackson when he was like, 6 weeks or 7 weeks old. Like we would go in and put on Beat It actually. And we would just sit and dance with him. But way back when I was young, my mom started it. And I don't know, there's just not a beat that he has that you just can't get bored of, I guess. I don't know. Something about Michael Jackson that's soothing and home-like, I guess, for me. I don't know what it is, but
nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia, yeah, for sure. I don't know, it's always on here. Justice, I have videos of him like growing up with like Alexa in the kitchen with him singing and dancing. Alexa, play Beat It by Michael Jackson, obviously in like a kid's home, but it's definitely some nostalgia. So What's up, Alex? I see you.
Solvents, finally catching the stream. Glad you could join us live, man. You mentioned Alexa. It's because of you I had to change the name of mine. And I keep forgetting, so I'll come downstairs and I'll be like, Alexa, lights on. And nothing's happening. Echo, lights on.
Oh, you changed it to Echo. You could have named her something cooler.
I'm not that advanced with the little devices, but I'll get there.
Next time I'm gonna change the name of mine to Echo temporarily, just for my next show.
You're trouble. You are trouble.
I don't know how many people have said that, and I always like back to when I first started. I've always done Alexa because I stream off my phone, and then I use my MacBook to use like to start stuff. And so I'm always like, oh, I'll just get I'll get a speaker or whatever. And then I never do. Or it's like I'm so used to the volume from Alexa that when I use my tablet or something, it seems like it's quiet. So yeah, I will be changing her name to Echo temporarily.
You are the worst. But you mentioned WhatNot, and a couple of people have said it. What got you into it, and were you like into eBay before?
Yeah, so we've been doing this it'll be 10 years next year. So basically we started like the old school way. We would go to thrift stores, flip stuff, whatever. Started it just like as a hobby for us when we first got together. And then we kind of, so it was all eBay at that point. And then we kind of got into a niche market of video games and consoles. And so that was like in 2019, I think, right before COVID had hit. So we got into that. And then probably like in 2021, we kind of branched out. We have our own website, have our own connection with local folks. So we branched out for that. And then was it 2025 right now? So yeah, 2024, I had a client of mine that I manage outside of here. He was like, hey, have you ever heard of WhatNot? I was like, yeah, I've heard of it or whatever. He's like, it's a great place to source. And so I was like, okay, I'll download it and see what the fuss is about. And so I downloaded, and obviously I found out that it was a great place to source. And so we ended up starting in the video game category just to kind of liquidate stuff that we had, like leftover stuff or stuff that we had been sitting on because we had started to focus on specifically consoles. So like video games, controllers, all that extra stuff. And then I found the Blu-ray category. And obviously like we have suppliers that we've developed over the last 5 years that I had access to. And so it kind of just happened on accident, to be honest, like the Blu-ray portion of it. So it's kind of how it happened, and a small little circle story there.
Yeah. I know I want to try to remember where I first came across your channel, but I know you get a lot of people who wonder how you get stuff, like how do you get stuff so cheap, especially when it's new stuff versus previously owned. And I don't know, do you get that question like once a stream at least?
I wouldn't say one. It used to be once a stream, but I have plenty of people in my inbox that say, hey, where do you get your stuff from? And I think my biggest, obviously, like, we have relationships with the manufacturers. I have, relationships that we developed because obviously we sell brand new, like new releases and all that stuff. And I always tell people that it's something that at least I would suggest. We've been doing it for 10 years, right? So relationship building is very, very important in business. And so if looking back, we wouldn't be to where we were without building relationships. And sometimes it's just simple as staying in touch with somebody, and they'll come across something and be like, hey, I found this X, Y, and Z. But I think relationship building is simply the biggest thing that has got us to where we're at today. Obviously, there's other stuff that goes along with it, right? Some luck maybe is in there finding the right product at the right time. But I even have, WhatNot customers that will refer to their friends or family or people that they know that are selling their lots to us. So, relationship building is the biggest thing.
Yeah, we have a comment here kind of alluding to that.
I do, yes. We are always buying, always buying. There's never a day that we're not sourcing or that we're not buying. So
when you were doing the video games, were you doing repairs or just like reselling like regular working ones?
Yeah, so we started doing that piece of it, and then we kind of got into a niche. And so today, Jared actually repairs. We have a supplier now that repairs them for us and refurbishes them. But Jared actually was doing that for a long time. He'll still do like new pin connectors, 72 pin connectors into the NES and SNES consoles. He still does that today. Laser repair. He does all the refurbishing stuff today. And so most of our video game business has turned into consoles specifically. Just because it's kind of where it guided us, and our suppliers are in that path. But yeah, he breaks them apart. He fixes them. I mean, just the weirdest. He can restore shells from that, that hazy or that yellow shell from like a NES from sun damage or whatever. He can take that and turn it back to look like, it's brand new. So
wow.
I rarely touch that side of the house of that business. That's his baby.
That's cool. I know a lot of people think, well, if you have access to all these movies, how do you determine which ones you keep, which ones you pass on? Like, honestly, every time I saw something come in, I'd be like, ooh, I only have the Blu-ray. Let me upgrade to the 4K. Then I can sell the Blu-ray,
That's true. It's hard, I guess, for us. I'm not we have our things that we kind of like the Michael Jackson thing. We only collect things that we know that we'll rewatch or that has some type of nostalgia to it. So Marvel, I don't know how many times I can tell you I've watched Iron Man just to watch it. Same thing with Harry Potter. I don't know how many times I've watched it just to watch it, or like just to have something on the background. So like I can see where somebody that maybe collects everything across the board, no matter what, I could see where that's the thing. And when we first started, Justice was like 4. So like I was keeping every Disney thing that I could find. But really it's just, if it's something of nostalgia or something that we know that's like harder to find or that really is out of print and likely we'll keep it. But I'm in the mindset of, if I really want it, I can always go rebuy it, I guess. So give it to somebody that, maybe collects anything and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we frame it up.
You have more of a curation than a collection.
Yes, we absolutely have a curation of Marvel, for sure. Anything that's a collection set, I will typically like big box set type kind of stuff. I think you guys have heard me say that on WhatNot a lot, but
yeah. My dog is trying to get in on this.
I'm good with that.
Come here, Mama. Some people know. This
There
is
she
Soka.
is.
Say hi, Mama.
She's the star of the show. Looks like she got a fresh little groom there.
Yeah, she just went to the groomers last week and they gave her like a little ascot thing. I don't know.
I love it.
Bandana.
I love that. Sweet girl.
How many shows are you up to now in a week?
Probably 3 or 4. I've tried to pull back to, first off, we've kind of tuned into like what really works for us. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I hate stack shows. I will never do a stack show. But I would say like 3 or 4. Typically we'll start on Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have one on Saturday and Sunday. And we kind of been mixing in those surprise sets a little bit on Saturday and Sundays to kind of pregame. But I would say 3 or 4 a week, give or take.
Yeah. I know sometimes I'm like trying to get ready for the week and all of a sudden the notification pops up. I'm like, 4K show coming up. All right. I'll wait and put all this away, put this laundry away later. Let me get in there and see what I could find.
It's more important to find movies.
Yeah. Priorities. But
I try to be mindful. I know we're both in Central Time Zone, but I try to be mindful of my Eastern people because sometimes it can get to like 11 o'clock at night. But I don't know, that time slot, like just people, I feel like I've just trained people to know that's going to be the show. And then like last week, I felt bad because we did that customer appreciation event and I didn't give away a 4K player. And I had somebody, I was like, when's the next show for the 4K player?
Do you find that people do that? Like they come in and they might buy like a $2 buy now just to get in.
Yeah,
like
they do.
Player drawing.
They do try. So sometimes we'll try to do it to where like you don't have to buy, because I know it's like, it's expensive to upgrade it, or it's even more expensive to buy a console to watch a 4K player. But yeah, there's some people that will buy small stuff, but they're I feel like I've created a monster because people expect it now. And so when I don't have them, I'm like, dang, I got to barter with you guys somehow. Her God's here.
It is. I totally enjoy the 4K show. And honestly, even what do you even call it when you have like the box sets before the pregame or the pre-show?
Yeah, the pre-show is kind of what it does. And I try to, those shows are fun. What's up, Wookie? I see you. But yeah, it's just a pregame show just to kind of give people, I don't know, something fun to do, I guess, because it is kind of like a game show, but I try to load them like stuff you typically wouldn't see on WhatNot, I guess. But yeah, they're the pregame shows. I think people like them, but I know that they're not for everybody, right? Not everybody's going to play those kind of shows, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think the last 5 people I've had on have been physical media people of some sort, collectors, curators, sellers. And the one thing that we all have in common is this love of movies. Yeah. Do you find like people expect you to know stuff about like movies when you're selling them?
I would like to think so, yes. Because there's plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this. And I get like the scold from the chat. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I will say, as I've kind of grown on there and my audience has grown, I do try to educate myself, especially if I'm selling something, because I don't want to, first off, lie, and act like I know something. But I do try to educate myself now, more so than I did. And obviously, the genre of my customer base. So I'm not a big horror person.
I don't picture you watching Hell House 1 through 4.
It is definitely not my genre. Like I like the Abigails and the Conjuring, like stuff like that. But the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, some of the Arrow stuff is out there, like that I have to bring it because people want it, but I won't be sitting down to watch those. Unfortunately.
I am kind of like across the board. When I was younger, like I would say preteen, I couldn't stand horror movies. And it was A Nightmare on Elm Street that got me into it. And then we'd go to the video store and just rent slashers nonstop. But these days, I don't know, I'm a little bit all over. I'm sci-fi, I'm action, I'm drama, I'm international. And yeah, I still have my love of slashers, but it's kind of hard. And I know a lot of people are into like subgenres, like they might like a genre, but they like a specific kind of movie in that genre. And I don't know. I think you miss out on so much when you just like kind of target that subgenre. What about you?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's one thing I was going to say, like the horror, especially because we're talking about horror, but like just the subgenres that are within horror as well. It's always interesting to see because I just know some of my customers will buy, like I'll see it, I'm like, oh, somebody would like this. Just the subgenres that are within. What's up, Johnny? That are within them. It's just always it's interesting. But yeah, I think that's one thing I would like to challenge myself is to broaden my movie. I guess I like what I like, right?
Yeah.
But I would like to broaden like the genres that I kind of sit in and live in for the most part, for sure.
And honestly, I understand this now looking back. You got a little one at home. You don't exactly have time to run a business and raise a kid. And oh yeah, every once in a while I might watch a movie.
Yeah,
So,
it's not
I understand if
hard.
it's not the easiest thing to get into like subgenres or whatever. But
Yeah,
with that
it's
said,
fun.
what would you be interested in getting into?
I don't know. I don't really know. So I like obviously the Marvels, superheroes, whatever. Like those are just whatever. But I do like sci-fi.
Hmm?
I would like to get into more of like the documentary stuff. I love watching them when they're on Netflix, right? But I don't branch out into outside of that stuff, I guess. But I don't know, maybe some sci-fi, a little bit more of a different take on sci-fi outside of what you typically would see, but and maybe some documentary. I would like to venture into horror a little bit more. But I don't know. I remember faintly growing up um watching Chucky with my dad. So I don't know when I grew out of watching horror, honestly, because I always watched it with my dad when I was little, all the time. But I don't know when I grew out of it, I guess. So maybe re-exploring that one would be a good thing.
Yeah. Alex says, "Oh, not a fan of the new horror." I get that. I get that. A lot of stuff. It's different. We'll
Invincible.
talk about that. But Alex says, if you like Marvel, try watching Invincible.
Invincible. I'll have to watch that. Is it a TV show or a movie?
Put it in the chat, Alex. And yeah, Wookie says he's not a fan of today's horror. I get that because a lot of today's horror is like a way to cover up messages of grief and trauma and all that.
That's
And
true.
everything is like CGI, long gone are days of practical effects. I love when a modern movie uses practical effects because it's like you took the time to like put that effort into it. And it sometimes it looks schlocky, but at the same time it looks good. Like Pearl, it's a TV series.
Got you.
Um, like Pearl had some great practical effects. They did use the same company that Peter Jackson used for Lord of the Rings, so it's not cheap, but you could see the difference in the quality. Steve adds he doesn't like gore for gore's sake.
Yeah, I can really I don't like the gore stuff. So Terrifier's a good one. Jarrett is like he's like, I don't see why people like this stuff.
Yeah,
And I
I
was
love
like,
it. I love
I'm
it.
sure you do. A lot of people do. Did you like the Substance?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
did.
I grew up in the 80s, so like body horror was like a big thing. Like I was watching this thing today, it was talking about like obscene movies from the 80s, and they had Videodrome, which is a Cronenberg movie, and he's like feeding the videotape into his stomach, but his stomach is shaped like a female body part. It's just crazy and over the top. But the reason I like Terrifier is that when I went to film school, a lot of the things that I studied was around the rating system and what was allowed, what wasn't allowed, and when the church was involved, and the little group of people that determines if a movie is PG-13 or rated R, and even the birth of PG-13, going back to like Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I'm like, if I'm paying to see a movie, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot watch?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And
true.
the thing I like about Terrifier is there's always like a fine line where something is cut away or something is stopped, and these movies just say, "No, we're not cutting away. We're staying right here. You're
That's
gonna
true.
see this," and it's a little bit demented, but yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point though, because some and it just comes to mind because Jarrett always bases the rating of a horror movie. So if he sees that it's PG-13, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna go watch that because it's not like true horror to him.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? Like there's probably no like super bloody gory stuff. There's probably not a lot of profanity or whatever. But I mean, it's really I want to say rare, but you don't see a lot of R-rated, like real R-rated movies like you used to see back in the day.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to see more of this format. I'll take a movie like Megan, the first one. Comes out as PG-13. It's a hit. When you release physical media, release the unrated edition, which is essentially an R. And then you have people like me saying, oh, that was so much better than the PG-13. But PG-13 gets the teenagers in the movies.
That's true.
You know,
That's true. Makes
who
sense.
can't see the rated R and everything. So,
yeah, no, that makes sense. Speaking of Megan, did you watch Megan too?
Yesterday, while I was
Just
in bed
yesterday?
laid up, I was watching it, and I was like, "Ooh, it's different. It's different. It's like the difference between Terminator and Terminator 2. To me, Terminator is like almost like a hunt you down kind of, almost bordering on a slasher movie, and then Terminator 2 is like a action sci-fi more movie. So,
I thought it was pretty funny actually. Because normally I go to the bathroom in the middle of the movies. I just can't not. And I was like, oh man, I can't even get up to go to the bathroom. It's so great.
Alex says TV shows is not convenient, but just watch the first episode of Invincible and guarantee you'll be hooked.
So this is strange. It's probably the anxiety of me, but I prefer TV shows. During the weekdays, right? Like I have a kid, so I can watch an hour TV show and be good. But I prefer TV shows, it seems lately, versus movies.
Yeah. And honestly, some TV shows are getting up to the cinematic quality of a movie.
Yep.
You know, whether you're talking about Game of Thrones or you're talking about any other movie or TV show like that, they're pretty much the budgets are like a movie. Johnny adds, those of us who grew up in the 80s love the absurd gore horror movies. It's what we know. It's what we know.
Yeah, Jarrett's an 80s baby, so he definitely agrees with that one.
Gremlins, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, PG. Yeah, Spielberg created PG-13. First PG-13 was Red Dawn. Correct. I still remember when those two movies came out and you had, they were like, oh, kids are going to throw their pet in the microwave after seeing Gremlins. In Indiana Jones, where you have like the beating heart outside of the body.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't the fun part. The fun part was chilled monkey braids.
Gremlins is great. It's another classic as well as like Goonies and all that. All that stuff is so good. They don't make movies like that these days.
No. And I honestly think that unless you're going after a certain audience, you really can't.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, there's definitely, it's a different climate, different time, different day and age for sure. I get it, but still.
Yeah. How often do you get to the theater?
It used to be like once a week. We still try to go once a week. But we went and saw Fantastic Four. We'll probably go see together sometime this week. But I would say once a week is pretty on average what we do.
I've been seeing the trailers talking about horror for Weapons. I have no idea what it's about, and that alone is intriguing.
I know it's not giving you enough. It's not giving you like hardly anything other than the kids have disappeared basically. They went to sleep and disappeared or something, but it looks so good.
Yeah, and something about more than any other movie, maybe like Marvel movies is up there, but like any other genre, horror movies is best to see with a group of people in a theater, like opening weekend. Like you want to get that raw kind of reaction to everything going on the screen. So I may go see it on Thursday night.
Oh, it comes out this week? Oh, well, we'll probably go see that first together. I've heard nothing but good reviews on Together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Jared's been wanting to see it.
I saw it when whatever, I guess last week, and then I was telling you, my friend and I went to the movies on Sunday, and he hadn't seen it, so that was our middle movie between She Rides Shotgun and Naked Gun. So I saw it twice now. But
how was Naked Gun?
hilarious. I don't care if you like spoof comedy or not.
I do.
It's funny because, I was talking to the theater manager afterwards, and he said something that's quite profound. He said that Naked Gun is probably the most important movie of the summer. I was like,
Really?
he said, because we don't get like comedies in theaters anymore. If we do, it's like once per year.
That's
Everything is on streaming services. Everything is on Netflix and Hulu and all that.
I didn't think about that. That's totally true.
I would love to get some more comedies. Once again, growing up in the 80s, Beverly Hills Cop and all Ghostbusters, all that stuff.
Ghostbusters.
By the way, I need to talk to you about Ghostbusters.
I think I might know why.
But I think it's really cool to see a comedy. I hope it did well. I didn't check the box office or anything, but I hope it encourages more people to take, it's sad to say, the risk on making a comedy movie for the studios.
I don't understand why they stopped though. Like Happy Gilmore, I think it would have been successful at the box office for sure. I mean, it's again the nostalgia piece of it, but I mean, who's not going to go see an Adam Sandler movie?
Right. And it's sad because you have Happy Gilmore 2 and it goes direct to streaming services versus being released in the theater.
Yeah.
That's something that should be in the theater. You have, once again, nostalgia. You have all these people who grew up on Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, and they want to see more of it in the theater, but it's hard to do that. Why is your head like halfway off the chair? Up here. She's trying to sleep on my lap. It's adorable, but it's annoying.
Snap time.
Now she's going to growl because she heard something upstairs. Third place, 17 million.
That's impressive. Okay. That's impressive.
Yeah. That
pretty
means good. Fantastic Four is still in first place. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Stop. I enjoyed it a lot. If the rumors are true about Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson being together, even better. Even better. But they had good chemistry on the scene, for a comedy, a spoof comedy.
I need to go see it. I've not seen the original Naked Gun, actually.
I know somebody who might be able to sell you one.
Is his name KB, maybe?
No. Her name is Kayla. I'm sure we get them in.
I have some of the trilogy. That I probably should watch it. I probably should.
Yeah. And actually, they're going for a pretty decent price these days too, because everybody's trying to get the 4K of the first one. Get the Blu-ray and get all three. They're fun. If you like the first one, you got two more in store. So I like it.
That's true.
Like it. If you like spoof comedies, I like it too. All right. What do you say? You want to get to your questions?
I'm sure, yes.
I know you were waiting for it. That's why I'm doing it.
I had to do some research. I'm like, man, I don't. The fourth or fifth one about what movie do you love that everybody hates? I'm like, I don't know.
So, the 5 takes, the 5 questions we ask every guest at the end of the conversation. We'll start the way we always do. With question number 1. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies.
In the actual movie theaters or just movies in general?
Movies in general.
I would have to say Harry Potter, which that's probably going to be a few answers. Yeah, a few answers tonight. I would say Harry Potter. I have a vivid memory of those growing up because when I was growing up, those came out, right? And it was like a big witches thingy-majigger, you know what I mean? Like the taboo against it for some odd crazy reason.
Yeah.
But I just loved that's probably when I really started to love movies was when Harry Potter came out.
Yeah.
Making it was because back then they were super long and just always waiting for the next release, I guess, to come out, because in that you had 8 or 9 whatever it was, so you're always looking forward to, and that went from my younger years all the way through. I think I was like in high school or post high school when the last one had came out. So
Mm-hmm.
that was probably really what like flipped the switch for me.
Am I going to take away from one of your answers if I ask you which one is your favorite?
My favorite, no, probably not. The fifth one is always my favorite.
You got to give me a title. I don't know them that well.
God, you're gonna have to make me ask it. I don't even remember off the top of my head. Deathly Hollow, and it's not Deathly Hollows.
Deathly Hollows is the last two.
It's the last two. It's the one that Order of Phoenix, I think, is what it is.
Okay.
It is the one, and I always forget who that Ralph plays Lord Voldemort until I go back and look it up. I always forget that. I always like to talk through. Yeah. Yeah, but that's probably my favorite one. I don't know why it is. I think that's when it starts to get a little bit darker.
Yeah.
In the series a little bit, so that's probably why I like him a lot more. But that's always my favorite that I go back to and watch. I like the first ones, but I think because the fifth one is when they kind of start to become adults is more resonates with me as an adult now than the first ones.
And I like that transition movie. I like Prisoners of Azkaban.
Yeah,
that's probably the one I've seen multiple times. The rest I've probably gone through like beginning to end once, but Azkaban I've watched several times.
I've tried rewatching the first and second, so I watched them on 4K because I wanted to see if the transfer was much better. And it certainly, obviously, it was great in 4K. But so I rewatched those one time. But whenever I go back to rewatch them, I always start at the fifth one.
And get in like 3 good movies.
Yeah, I mean they're long enough, anyways. Or I think there's one. I think it's the third one. Whatever one has the snow scene, I'll go back and watch it during Christmas time. Maybe it's the second one. That's a good. I don't know. They're all good, right? I'm not going to complain whatsoever. They're all great.
I hear you. When I first saw it, it was the week before Part 2 came out, the last one, and I bought all the Blu-rays. And as we bought them, we watched them, and then we wanted to finish up the Friday and go Friday night. We finished up. And we went Saturday morning. So we saw all the previous ones at home, and then we saw Deathly Hollows Part 2 in the theater.
That's awesome. I love that. I remember going to see the Part 2 in theaters. I used to be a crazy person and do like 24-hour marathons on those. Yeah, and on Lord of the Rings or whatever, and The Hobbit, I would try to do those back to back as well. I don't think I could do that today, but I have plenty of memories of doing that multiple times when I was younger.
I did that with my kids a few times. It was a situation where I'd say, this Sunday, extended edition, and they were like, yeah. She wasn't too thrilled. She fell asleep somewhere between the second movie. But we would watch all of the Lord of the Rings extended editions throughout the day. That's like a 13-hour commitment.
Yeah, that's long.
With potty breaks and changing discs. And then when you're done, because we did it on Sundays, now you got to get ready for bed. You got school in the morning.
You get school. I hope Justice wants to do that whenever he's older, when he gets into Harry Potter.
Whatever you get them into.
Yeah.
Number 2, name 5 of your favorite films.
5. So obviously Harry Potter. I'm going to lump all those together into one.
Right.
And then probably Iron Man 1. Doctor Strange. What else? The Little Giants.
Very good.
Yeah, I know.
I like that.
That's Justice's favorite movie actually right now. He's probably seen it 20 times and he dies laughing every single time like he's never seen it. And then what else? Is that 4?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I would like top 5. Maybe the Mission Impossibles. I would think those are up there. I'm a big Tom Cruise actor fan. That's maybe up there, I think. I don't know. There's lots of good ones. Those are the top like ones that come to mind that I like.
How did you feel about how the series wrapped up, if it is truly wrapped?
It's not. Well, it's not truly wrapped, first off. I wasn't a fan of it. I guess I was expecting more. And I felt like it was just like the one prior, which I guess I guess all of them are kind of similar in their own way, but they're all unique at the same. But I felt like it was literally the same movie as the prior. It wasn't. There was no like twist in the story. There was no, I guess, what you would expect. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but I didn't love it, I guess, per se.
Yeah. Can I tell you something kind of behind the scenes?
Of
So
course.
those movies, those last two movies, was Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie, his writing partner, and they created action scenes. Like, we want to do this in this place, and they created action scenes, and then got a script made.
Oh,
So the script was reflective of the action scenes, not like a script with action scenes. And I think that's quite ballsy. I don't know if it would work for everyone, but that's how they did it.
It probably works for him because it's Tom Cruise, right? And I think that's why a lot of people that's why a lot of people watch. I mean, that's why I like watching him, because I know he does some stunts, and then I can go back and watch a docu-series or whatever about how he did the stunt or whatever. That's kind of what got me into watching his stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I was in a screenwriting class, and they were talking about that, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's ballsy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Ballsy. All right, everyone's favorite question. Number 3. Name a popular or classic movie that everybody loves, you don't particularly like.
I already told you this prior, but Lord of the Rings just doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is, but same thing. Like, I know the TV show was like somewhat popular or whatever, but I don't, something about Lord of the Rings. I love the Hobbits, but I don't know if it's because of the era that it was filmed in, maybe, or it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I think if I didn't grow up reading the books,
maybe that would explain it. Maybe
that would have been like too much for me. Like, between the Rings movies and the Hobbit's actually a short story. The fact that they elongated it into 3 movies, like, wow, how'd you do that? But,
that's true. Yeah. Which makes sense, because like Harry Potter is like my thing, and I grew up on the books. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, they just don't do it for me. And I've tried like probably at least like 5 times to watch them, and I've watched all of them, right? But it's not something that I love, I guess. Maybe the story, I don't know. I just don't love it.
Yeah. And what I was saying before is, like, for every generation, there's a certain franchise that people could kind of adapt themselves to. Like, for me, it was Star Wars in the 70s and 80s. And a lot of people today, it's Marvel MCU movies, or, when you were coming up, it was either one or the two, or both: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, or both of them.
Yeah, they don't really have. I guess, is Marvel really the only like big thing today like that? Is there anything else that's like out there, really?
No, can't think of any, because the whole thing is you have to have success these days in order to build a franchise.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you had people who invested in a franchise, and as the box office kind of went along, they just continued doing it. That's why we have some Rocky movies.
Oh, God, Rocky. And then we got Creed movies, which I'm not going to complain about Creed. Please don't get me wrong. Just like I'm not going to complain about Pedro. But I would assume there's going to be a Creed 4 that will come out at some point.
Or if you've seen Sinners, Michael A. Jordan, his brother.
That movie was phenomenal.
It really was.
So good. And I just love DC. Get out of here, Wookiee. You're not a DC fanboy. Although Superman was great. I know you saw it, right?
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun. It really was fun. What is Johnny saying here? It's a common hatred. Potter fans typically don't like Lord of the Rings, and vice versa. I didn't realize that. Wow.
I guess it kind of makes sense if you think about it. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Guy is in the house. What's up, Kate, man? Strange trivia fact about me. Last hospital stay the nurses noticed my blood pressure drop while watching Lord of the Rings, which they encouraged. Wow. So it basically lulled you into subconsciousness.
Or
That's
maybe you have the ring. That's probably why.
yeah,
That's
maybe.
funny.
All
Huh.
right. Number 4, name a critically hated movie that you love.
Oh. I don't really know a critically hated movie that I love. I thought about this. I don't really know. Like, I don't know. What's yours, I guess?
Oh, it's funny when people put it back on me because I'm never prepared, even though I probably answered it before. Uh, I'm gonna have to take a quick look.
You know what movie I really loved is from like the 90s, I think, that I'm pretty sure has terrible Rotten Tomatoes is Mr. Magoo. Do you remember Mr. Magoo?
Yes, I do.
I don't know why I loved it so much, but that was like one of my favorite. Just like Dunstan Checks In was one of my favorite as well from the 90s.
Yeah. What's funny is I just looked up 2 movies, and The Last Dragon has a lower rating than Barbarella.
Mm.
Go figure. I don't know. I'm gonna get back to you on that. I should have these right here for when people ask me. I know the answer to the first one is Goodfellas. Everybody knows that about me. But wait a minute. Listen to my podcast, episode 2. If you listen,
Episode 2? Okay.
it's on there. I have to think about it for a minute. A couple other comments, questions. In case you didn't know, the horror cholo is dead, and now it's the urban disciple. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Blessings. Bless up. Have you watched the new War of the Worlds with Ice Cube? I have not. I have not.
It's got 0% tomatoes.
Well, somebody out there likes it. I know that much. Like I said, I've been moving, so sitting down to watch a Netflix movie of that sort has not been on the top of my list. Only reason I watched Megan 2.0 is because I had nowhere else to go yesterday. Some hatred, I guess. Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek. That was a big thing back then because people liked Star Wars. You couldn't like Star Trek.
I don't really hear a lot of people talk about Star Trek though. And maybe it's just because it's, I'm younger. I don't know, but I just don't hear people talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Last Dragon has 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. Barbarella has 65.
That's not that bad.
Totally bad. It's not like I said Staying Alive, which is a 0 right now. But I know someone who loves that movie. So go figure.
There's always somebody. There's always somebody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Before we continue, I want to thank you, my friend, for coming on here.
Yeah, this has been fun. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Gladly.
It's so nice to see the face instead of just hearing the voice and seeing the well manicured nails, putting up the next movie for me to buy. So it's nice to have the face that goes along with it.
I know. Well. I should flip the camera around a little bit more often, but sometimes I do look like I'm homeless sometimes behind camera. I'm not even gonna lie. So.
Well, thank you for not looking homeless today.
You're welcome.
With that said, as we get into the last question, I want to thank everyone who's been in the chat, keeping it active, everyone on the rewatch. Leave comments. If you do, I'll get them to Kayla if you have any follow-up questions for her. But tell people where they can find you.
On WhatNot. Countless Exchange, how it's spelled here, Kayla_Countless Exchange. You can find us on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, although I frequently delete the app. So if you leave me a message, I will get back to it within a month usually. Just being honest. I'm not a social media gal. But on WhatNot. So we're live 3 or 4 times a week. We have the newest releases typically a week in advance. Try to get it to you guys below retail when I can. Sometimes it's not possible, but like A24s, I have to, sell them at retail. But yeah, 3 or 4 times a week on WhatNot.
Yeah. And I tell you what, for anybody who complains about that with A24, it's still cheaper than getting it directly from A24.
Yeah, because you have to pay shipping or you have to pay for their membership, which I'm sure it pays for itself. But I mean, A24 just recently, within the last 6 months, probably required a MAP price because they're trying to protect their brand, which I'm all I'm all for. So I think it's great, but there's a few others that are out there. Paramount's kind of getting to that as well, where they're trying to map price and lock everything in. WB does their own thing. Go to Grove. That's all I'm going to say with that. Go to Grove if you want WB releases. So
Yeah. Yes. Sunday nights at the 4K show. If you come to the pre-show, you could get box sets and have a little game show experience. Always fun. We got Dell in the house saying, "What's up?"
What's up, Dell?
But after here, probably in about 9 minutes or so, please head over to Dell on Movies. He will have my friend Tracy, Nerdy Film Girl, and they will be discussing their movie swap of Across the Universe and Lady Sings Blues. Can't wait for that.
I love that. That's a good idea.
Movie
swap. That's
really because there's so many times you think of a movie and you ask someone, "Have you seen that?" And they say, "No." "Oh, you should watch it." They ain't gonna watch it. So if you say you watch something you haven't seen, I'll watch something I haven't seen that you recommend, and then you just have a discussion about it. I love it. I like that.
It's a great idea.
And I found one of my favorite horror movies of all time because I finally watched Candyman after 31 years.
You hadn't seen Candyman?
See, everyone says the same.
Oh my god, I'm not even a horror fan. I watched that thing when I was like not old enough to watch it because
everybody says the same thing. I don't know what was wrong with me.
I love that though.
Have you ever thought of owning a movie studio with all the movies you own? No, because they're mine. I don't want to share them.
I don't want to share them.
No.
He just wants to share the knowledge behind them.
That's right. I'll watch them and we could discuss. That's about it. All right. Let's land this plane with number 5. Now that you've been on it, who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm trying to think. Have you had Jeff on here before?
Oh, Rossio?
Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. Right around when he hit 100,000.
Oh wow. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately. But
you should go get him again. I'm always like, I had him on WhatNot or whatever, in his book that's coming out. But there is one post that he created. It was like a month or two ago. It was about Jaws. Everybody knows that's his favorite movie, but like he was like, I know this is controversial, but just the banter back and forth, like the good banter back and forth in his chat about, is it the best movie, if it's not or whatever. It's always, and in the movie community, it's always cool to see different people's opinions and be respectful about it as well. But it's just cool to see the good banter back and forth on what makes something good in that person's opinion and versus the other.
Right. That's the important part, the good banter, because people have their opinions and a lot of people get upset when you don't share it. So that's sad. Trini says he's scared of WhatNot. I know what you mean, bro. I know what you mean. Addictive.
Yeah, it's super addictive. It is very, very addictive.
And if you go on this lady's one, it's fast paced. You got to keep up. How many movies do you run through like in an hour?
Normally like 100-ish to 150 is probably the top that we've done. Like if we like really like barrel down, we can get to 150 to 175. I think I did a celebration stream. What's up, Dylan? Dylan joined the Dollar Gang, starting at $1. I influenced him. I don't know. We go really fast though. I try to go as fast, and that's just me because I have ADHD a little bit.
Right.
But also time is really valuable. I see people stream for 2, 3, 4 hours, and if that works for them, that's great. But my time's valuable. Your time's valuable.
I follow this guy that starts at 5 on a Friday, and it's 2:00 in the morning, and he's just wrapping up.
Oh no, I can't. I just can't. I've tried doing 2 hours. I think the most I've done is 3 hours maybe, but most of my streams cap at 1.5 hours. And that's just me personally capping out. But also like there's some people that stay in my stream all show long. That's 1.5 hours that they spent with me. So I try to be mindful of time.
Yeah, I'm one of them. But I know there's been at least once or twice that I'm like, I get the notification, and then I'm like finishing up whatever I got to do, and I turn around and I eat something, and then all of a sudden I go in, this show has ended. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
There are some shows I will do like super short shows on, and funny enough, there are a few people that have messaged me and say, "Hey, I just noticed your show ended." I was like, I told you guys it was gonna be quick. So
yeah. There's no way to know that going in though.
I know. Sometimes I do like those free movies on Friday, where I'll just give away a few free movies or new digital codes or whatever.
Yeah.
Those things are super quick. But most Sunday shows will run us an hour and a half at least. So, and you know,
I know there's people trying to line up exactly when you're giving away the 4K players or whatever.
I know. Well, I mean, if you know, you know. It's hour and a half. I try to let people know because I know like they're not going to hang out, or like I'll have people be like, "I'm going," you know, Heckna. I don't know if he's still in here, but he's like, "I got to go take care of the kid," or I'm, you know, getting ready for bed. Just let me know when it is. So, I mean, I get it. I appreciate it.
I didn't even talk about the cookies and the popcorn.
Oh, you didn't. They're here. I shipped yours out today.
Thank you. Here. Let me give you a full screen for that.
They're delicious.
That's good.
Have you had them yet? I think I threw some popcorn in on one of your orders.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're delicious.
I like caramel corn, so I like the one you sent me. And then, of course, who doesn't like a chocolate chip cookie?
They're so good. They're very addicting.
I still want that lemon blueberry one, though.
The cookie or the popcorn?
The cookie. You said it was like seasonal or whatever.
Yeah, it's only in the summertime, and when they do seasonal flavors, they only run them for like 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes for like just like 2 weeks at a time, and so I only got one batch of them because I try to make sure I order them that Monday so you guys get fresh cookies. I never sit on anything that's longer than 2 weeks, and if I do, it's like $5 for you guys. So I try to mark them down, but it's been super fun trying to partner with small businesses. This one, popcorn is all local to us. So, you know, Missouri farms that it supports, you know, it's locally popped to us. So it's, you know, 15-minute drive down the road for us. Yeah. The cookies are from New York, but that's been like a mission. Both of us, we have, you know, I don't think I had lemon and blueberry. It's super good. It's yummy. You have to wait till next year for it though.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'll be here.
Oh yeah,
if you're around, so. I'll be here.
I hope so. But yeah, it's been fun trying to get small businesses, you know, to partner with. That's been a mission for us personally. We're always trying to help small. We both have psychology and social work background, so you know, just trying to give back as much as we can.
I hear you. I want to thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Again, everybody, head over to Della Movies. Check out his movie swap. I'm going to head over there in a few moments. But as I always say, it's still the same. Go watch a movie. Have a good night, everyone.
See you, KB. Appreciate ya.
See ya.